All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. I want you to close your eyes for a second. When I say the word shark, what immediately pops into your head? You're probably picturing a standard, basic great white, right? Big teeth, cruising right near the surface, maybe the Jaws theme playing in the background. Well, I need you to scrub that image completely from your brain. Because today, we are plunging straight into the pitch black, frankly terrifying reality of the deep ocean, where the things swimming around look like actual aliens. Seriously, it's hilarious when you think about it. The contrast is wild. You've got what your dad thinks a shark is, the classic surface dweller, and then you've got the absolute monstrosities we are about to uncover as we drop down into the abyss. We're talking sharks with glowing bellies, completely unhinged hunting strategies, and features that are pure nightmare fuel. So buckle up, because you definitely don't know sharks half as well as you think you do.
So, layer 1 of our descent? Welcome to the Twilight Zone, home of the deep-sea nightmare predators.
As the sunlight fades, we start running into hunters with, well, faces only a mother could love. Meet the Goblin shark. It's this pink, kind of flabby-looking thing with a literal sword sticking out of its nose. But the truly cursed part, it's how it feeds. You see, its jaw isn't fused to its skull like a normal animal. It's attached by this highly elastic skin, so when it goes in for a meal, its entire mouth detaches and launches completely out of its face. It is exactly like the facehugger from the Alien movies. Just punch. It shoots out 3 feet, grabs the fish, and retracts right back into its head.
I mean, watching it in slow motion is just wild. And the craziest part is, they live thousands of feet down, so we almost never see them alive. They're pretty much only caught by accident. Which means right now, down in the freezing dark, there are just pink punch-faced monsters swimming around doing their thing. So yeah, for the Goblin shark, I'm giving that a solid 10 out of 10 for nightmare fuel and a hard -5 out of 10 for huggability.
All right, if you thought that was intense, let's talk about the number 300, because that is the terrifying number of needle-sharp, backward curved teeth packed into the mouth of our next deep-sea resident, the frilled shark. 300 teeth arranged in 25 rows. This thing basically looks like a giant eel and a dragon had a very angry baby. It's even got 6 gill slits instead of the usual 5. But let's go back to those teeth. Because they curve backwards, anything that slips into its mouth has a one-way ticket to Digestion Town. There's no escaping. It's actually known as an 80-million-year-old living fossil, because evolution literally looked at it millions of years ago and went, yep, no notes, you're perfect. It makes total sense that when sailors first hauled these up in the 1800s, they literally thought they'd caught an actual sea serpent.
Okay, sinking even deeper now. Section 2, the Midnight Zone, home to the tiny ocean tricksters. Down here, we're trading those massive dragon-like monsters for tiny, super stealthy assassins with some of the most bizarre weapons you'll ever see. Let's actually test your deep-sea knowledge for a second. Can you guess which tiny, 20-inch shark regularly bites chunks out of actual nuclear submarines? Honestly, it's the most petty, personal attacker in the whole ocean.
If you guessed the Cookiecutter shark, you nailed it. This little 20-inch ocean vandal doesn't even bother eating its prey whole. It uses these specialized suction cup lips to latch onto its target, and then it literally spins its entire body to carve out a perfect, round, cookie-shaped chunk of flesh. It just leaves these weird donut-hole bite marks on everything. Dolphins, tuna, whales, massive 20-foot great whites, and yeah, multi-million-dollar submarines. It just takes a bite, ruins your day, and swims away.
Now the Cookiecutter has another crazy trick up its sleeve, bioluminescence. It glows in the dark. It actually glows on its belly to perfectly mimic the silhouette of a much smaller fish against the faint light from above. It's a trap. It lures bigger predators in close, thinking they're getting an easy snack, and boom, surprise bite. On the flip side, look at the ninja Lanternshark. It's entirely black and uses its glow completely differently. It glows in specific patterns to create a stealth invisibility cloak, camouflaging itself so predators looking up from below can't even see its silhouette.
By the way, I absolutely love the quote from the scientists who discovered the ninja Lanternshark. They explain the name by literally just saying, it's black and stealthy like a ninja and has lights like a lantern. Boom! Proving once again that marine biologists are occasionally just completely awesome at naming things. Now, before we drop out of the Midnight Zone, we absolutely have to talk about the Sawshark. Just picture a shark, but stick a literal flat chainsaw onto its face. It's got this long snout covered in sharp hedge trimmer teeth. It just swims into a massive school of fish and violently whacks its face back and forth to slice everything up. Oh, and it's got these little mustache-like whiskers called barbels.
Plus, that saw is loaded with electroreceptors. It literally has a built-in radar that can feel your heartbeat through the sand before it even sees you. Nature essentially played a first-person shooter and designed the ultimate melee weapon.
All right, moving on to Section 3, the Ancient Abyss. Gentle giants and actual zombies.
We've finally hit the deepest, most freezing depths of our journey. This is where we find confusing giants and creatures that literally seem to defy time. Case in point, the Megamouth shark. This giant was discovered by a Navy ship near Hawaii in 1976, and it completely blew scientists' minds. It has this massive, 4-foot-wide, kind of squishy mouth, but it's utterly useless for biting. It's a filter feeder. It just swims around with its mouth wide open, scooping up tiny plankton and jellyfish. As the quote perfectly sums it up, it's like a lion with giant fangs that only eats yogurt. All show, zero bite.
Okay, time for another quick quiz before we meet a creature that, I'm not gonna lie, haunts me personally. Which freezing Arctic shark has parasitic eyeworms, highly toxic meat, and holds the absolute record as the longest living vertebrate on planet Earth?
It is the incredibly slow-moving Greenland shark. And you guys, to put its mind-bending 500-year lifespan into perspective, scientists actually found one that was born right around the year 1505. Think about that. This shark was swimming around the freezing Arctic while Michelangelo was literally painting the Sistine Chapel. It was alive before William Shakespeare was even born. It didn't even reach sexual maturity until 1655. It spent 150 years just being a teenager, and it's still swimming today. Massive, slow, practically blind because of those eye worms, just floating through the pitch black while entire empires rise and fall.
And as if being a 500-year-old slow-motion zombie shark wasn't hardcore enough, its meat is heavily toxic. If you tried to eat this thing fresh, you would hallucinate wildly and probably die. So naturally, people in Iceland figured out that if you ferment it for months, it becomes a delicacy called hakar, a delicacy that apparently smells exactly like an ammonia-filled nursing home. Incredible creature, 10 out of 10 for surviving half a millennium, but absolutely 0 out of 10 for dinner.
Okay, Section 4, the Shallows. We need a cute palate cleanser.
Let's rapidly ascend back up to the safety of the sunlit shallows because after all that nightmare fuel, we all definitely deserve a breather. The contrast here is just hilarious. We've spent this entire explainer looking at ancient terrors, face-punching jaws, and submarines being vandalized, and now, look at the bamboo shark. It's just a harmless, tiny little guy that eats crabs and worms. Seriously, it looks exactly like a leopard print tube sock with eyes.
And their start to life is so ridiculously charming, too. The moms lay these little leathery egg pouches right on the beach. People actually call them mermaid purses. When they hatch, they pop out fully formed, but they're only about 6 inches long. And their very first instinct? Immediately hide in some seaweed so they don't get eaten. They're so incredibly unscary that people literally keep them as pets in home aquariums.
So, wrapping up this explainer, we've gone from the sunny surface all the way down to the ancient freezing abyss and back. We've seen glowing assassins, sharks with literal chainsaws on their faces, and half-blind 500-year-old zombies. I think this whole journey proves that basic surface-level great whites are absolutely nothing compared to the pure chaos of the deep. Honestly, the ocean isn't scary because of great whites. The ocean is terrifying because right now, somewhere out there, a 20-inch cookie-cutter shark is biting a chunk out of a nuclear submarine for literally no reason.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Out of all these bizarre deep-sea sharks we talked about today, which one would you actually be most okay with seeing in real life? Drop your answer in the comments below. Though obviously, if you're anything like me, you're picking the bamboo shark because it is the only one whose snoot I actually want to boop. Thanks for exploring.